The Invader 1. What's up guys, Invader 1 here again, and this time with another Platinum solo guide, but this is another hardcore advanced guide for those of you guys who want to do Platinum solo versus collectors on Glacier Hazard. Yes, I did another one. So now, the thing about this is I'm calling it the cheese. The reason I'm calling it the cheese because I am using a crutch character. I'm sorry guys, I don't care what anybody says, this is a crutch character. You're using this guy, he's a crutch character because pretty much he can stay alive most of the time. And although even while using this guy, you will still die on this Glacier Hazard, you will still get owned. As you will see here, I ended up with only just one jail at the end, and a few of the deaths were kind of like a little stupid, in all honesty. Could have been prevented, but you will see, it was a little tough, but it was a lot of fun actually doing this one. I had a lot more fun doing this one than the previous guide. So I'm calling this the cheese, and the reason I decided to do another one is because this guide has nothing to do with armor compartments. The previous guide makes it a little easier for you, takes a little less time. You notice this is a longer video, and you use armor compartments on wave 8, and that makes wave 8 go so fast, as you noticed in the previous guide. I mean, wave 8 is the hardest wave besides wave 10 on Glacier Hazard, well, on collectors, Platinum. And in all honesty, with the previous guide with armor compartments, wave 8, I just nuked everything and took out, the last spawn by, with my gun, and then that was it. So I made wave 8 really simple. Now, this is a guide for those of you guys who just don't want to use armor compartments, but you want a character that can at least last a little bit. Well, that's this guy. This is the cheese. We're going to use the cheese. Okay, so now for the cheese, what I am using in this gameplay, I'm using the particle rifle. You could definitely use the Harrier. That's fine, guys. But the reason I'm not using the Harrier is because I don't want to be dependent on ammo. And yes, there are times that I overheat because I know that. See, there are moments that I usually wait till it gets to like 10, on the counter, how many, how much more the particle rifle can shoot, and then I'll stop and then go again. But there are times that I actually intentionally go to the last drop because I know that the enemy, if he gets one more bullet in, he'll be dead. So you'll notice that in wave 8 especially. Wave 8 is really tough. I do it with no rockets. So in this guide, I don't use rockets until, well, there was one time I needed to use a rocket because the enemy overwhelmed me, guys. Check out wave 6. It is intense. I almost died. It was I mean, I did die, but I almost like totally failed, totally wiped. The enemy cornered me. I had to use a missile, but at least I have 5 missiles for wave 10, and that really helped me out to clean out that wave, which is exactly what you want. You want to have your missiles ready for wave 10 because, after you finish the objective, you just want to clean up house. So guys, let's go through this character. Yes, the cheese. Let's go through the cheese. For my equipment, I had only incendiary rounds 2. I didn't have anything higher. I recommend incendiary rounds 4 because incendiary rounds 4 is 50% damage over time. Now incendiary rounds 2, just to show you guys, it's only damage plus 20, but the DOT is 20 over 3.0 seconds. So I still wanted to use incendiary rounds, even though I could have gone with something like warp rounds. Warp rounds are really great. Look at that damage. Look at that look at the armor weakening. 65% for 4 seconds. That's great against Praetorians. Guys, warp rounds are great against collectors. They are excellent. They destroy Praetorians. They destroy Scions. They're so good. In all honesty, they are the best ammo against collectors. Hands down. For me, test it out, guys. Use warp rounds against the collectors and you see what I'm talking about. Incendiary rounds, I would say, is the second best. And I'm using incendiary rounds in this crutch cheese character because I want to do some fire explosions, and they're not that as powerful due to the fact that I'm only using incendiary rounds too, but still, it still worked out. It still helped out, and I wanted to use incendiary rounds to be able to do some damage over time. Now the third best for like a particle rifle, if you don't have warp rounds or incendiary rounds, will be armor piercing rounds. That will be the third best. That's what you would do with the particle rifle. It would be first warp rounds, incendiary, and armor piercing. But if you're doing this guide, this specific guide, then you want incendiary rounds just to do the damage over time and do the fire explosions. Okay, so now overall, let's go so you guys don't get confused. The best ammo type against collectors, besides this guide, besides this map or whatever, depending on the character, if you're using another character or whatever, are warp rounds. But for this character, because you want to do fire explosions, I recommend incendiary rounds first, then warp rounds, and then armor piercing, okay? But in general, warp rounds is the best. Warp rounds is great. It's great against barriers. It makes your weapon stronger. It's really good against the collectors. Okay, so I just wanted to mention that. Hey, I only had assault rifle rail amp 2. It gives me a plus 20% rifle damage, and the warfighter package. You want the warfighter package, guys, because I'm gonna go through the build, and at the same time, you know, it gives you a plus grenade capacity. You want the warfighter package maxed out, so at least like that you have four stim packs in the game, and you want some damage on your park rifle. I did have a cyclonic modulator 3. I did have a 4. I don't know. I had quite a few 3s, and the way this character works, I just, you know, with the stim packs, I just didn't feel the need to spend, you know, waste my cyclonic modulator 4. So that's what I had, guys, and let's go through the build. Let's go through the cheese. Okay, so the cheese, this is my build. Yes, no fitness, absolutely no fitness. That's why you definitely need a cyclonic modulator. So this entire gameplay, no fitness, but you see 750 shields. You gotta put a cyclonic modulator 3. That's 100% on top, so that's quite a bit. That doubles the 750 shields, so that's good. The health is low though. If your shields go down, you have to bring your shields back up almost immediately. So let's go to the tactical cloak. You guys know me for damage, so damage on rank 4. Then I go for recharge speed on rank 5. I want this puppy to come back up quickly, and then assault rifle damage on rank 6. You want this. It's so good for this guy. Stim packs. This is what we go. This is the crutch. This is the cheese. This is the cheese right here. So for the cheese, I go for max shields to increase it. Then I go for duration, guys, because I want this effect to last. Okay, you know, I definitely want the effect to last, especially the damage as well. I mean, you don't get a lot of damage, but it does give you max shield 1680. And look, when I go all the way to rank 6 and I put survival, increase max shield bonus by 60%. Forget about melee damage. By 25, I don't care about melee damage. I don't use this guy for melee. So max shields, I get 2400 max shields. Pretty much all my shields come back up. I get a damage bonus of 7.5%, and it lasts for 9 seconds. It's really not long. That's why you want duration here. And so for 9 seconds at least to last. And again, you know, the cheese. That's what makes it the cheese. Overload. You definitely want overload. This is how you detonate fire explosions. So I go for chain overload, and then I go for neuroshock because I want to drop all the enemies to the ground, all the weaker tier enemies, and you'll see that in this gameplay. I love doing that. You know, it's not great for sniping, but it is great for characters that you're not gonna snipe with. I'm not sniping with this guy, so neuroshock is great. I drop the enemies to the ground, hit them in the ground, hit them where they're low. Okay, so now shield damage, guys. This is the way you want to go. This is great, the chain overload, but in all honesty, you do want shield damage here because it increases the damage to barriers and shields by an additional 100%. That's multiplicative. That's not additive, so it's 100% damage on top of whatever damage it already has. Now, let's look at this. Let's look at this real quick. So you're able to hit multiple enemies. You're able to drop them on the ground, and at the same time, you have a lot more shield damage. That's great for. That is great for the possessed captains, which they can destroy you in this game. So you really want to make sure that you drop their barriers right away, so you could just drop them with your particle rifle. Armored Legion, yes, let's go through it. You want weapon damage because you want to hurt them with your gun. You want power damage here. And you know what? If you're using the Harriers, better headshots, but I'm going for power damage just for my overload, so that's fine. This is, you know, it's up to you guys. And here in this situation, damage and stability, I want more weapon damage and weapon stability. So if we look at it, the weapon damage bonus is 30%, stability bonus is excellent, 55%. So I have a weapon damage bonus of 30%. So guys, this is the cheese. And by the way, this guide is not live commentary, but I am gonna narrate the entire thing. I decided not to do live commentary because last time it was so difficult, and I felt like I could have given you guys a lot more. So I am gonna narrate the entire Platinum Solo, and let's go into it right now, and I feel that you guys would definitely get a lot more out of it this way. So here we go, guys. So one of the things is that for the particle rifle, guys, I am using the heavy damage barrel, as you can tell here, and I'm also using the additional, you know, ammo capacity on both the Scorpion and the particle rifle. And on the Scorpion, I'm only using the the additional 25% damage barrel, not the heavy one, because I kind of wanted my overload to recharge a little faster, because I do need it to drop the mooks. Now, it is very important, guys, that as you're doing this kind of situation, this kind of tactic for the collectors, you do not just want to rush from each point of interest. I think by now you guys have noticed the point of interest that I go. There are certain corners that I'm constantly going to. And I do a lot of spawn control in the beginning of the wave. And as you can see here, it does work. It does work. From the previous guide, I did it again. I was able to implement the same strategy. The only difference is that here I'm not using armor compartments. And at the same time, you know, I'm forcing spawns. Now, in this situation, I think wave 1, I might have messed it up by doing that little wall dance for you guys. Let me see. Oh no, I didn't, and it worked out. So, see, the reason I start off there and I face that little desk in that little specific area is because it forces them here, and then I can wait here a little bit, and I can funnel them in this part. And I do this on every wave except the objective waves, guys. On the objective waves, you do not want to do that. You want to be in the center of the map at the top, because then what happens is wherever the objective is at, it forces the enemy to be... Let's say if the objective is an escort, it is the dot of the map. The game does not spawn the enemy at the objective. It'll spawn them opposite. So at least if you're not by the objective, they're not going to spawn there. But if you're in the center of the map, then most likely it will spawn at the LZ or at some other area that is not too close. So what happens is you've given the escort some room for it to work for you. So that's kind of what I do. And if you have a hack, well, a hack is a hack, and I did get a hack on wave 6, which is really intense, guys. You gotta watch wave 6. So as you can see here, this is another point of interest, guys. What I do is I wait here. I'm not just rushing to corner to corner. I want them to funnel here. I don't just run away. I go a little bit. I take out a little bit of armor now. But with the science, guys, the science, what you want to do, you don't want to just kill them right away. I mean, you do want that, but I'm saying, you want to pace yourself. You want to have a little bit of patience. Be happy with taking down at least 1 to 2, maybe 3 bars of armor, and then wait a little bit, see, before you go. Since I've already set up the enemy, and I've already set them on track to constantly come through this direction. I kind of, you know, set them up to funnel for me. What I do is I take down as much armor as I can from the side, and I keep on going, but slow, little by little. This is the other point of interest. You got to make sure your back is like really in there. Nothing is showing, so like that, you know, you do not get sniped. You also got to be careful from your right. The reason I am not too worried in this situation is because I have already set the enemy ready for being funneled through this area. Now, the one thing you do have to pay attention, the moment you do kill a Scion or a Praetorian and you're in this spot, you have to look to your right. You have to look here, because a lot of times they'll spawn them right here. So you have to be very careful. The moment you kill a Scion in that spot or a Praetorian, you have to look towards the LZ, this area, and make sure that, you know, that there's nothing there. And if there is one, go towards it. As you can see here in the situations, wave 1 went quite well using this funneling tactic. And by the way, guys, you already know, if you have the heavy barrel, you can shoot through the glass and it does great damage. You can see, look, I'm doing damage to the Praetorian. I do that quite a bit. I do a few wall hacks here, and that's just if you have... That's not hacking the game. When I say wall hacks, guys, wall hack, it just means this is the way this game is set up. If you have like drill rounds, or you have armor piercing rounds, or you have like the heavy barrel on your assault rifle, well, you can shoot through that light cover, and that's considered light cover. So you see me do that quite a bit. Shoot the enemy. Here we go. Do it again. Wave 2. Start right here, facing that little section of the desk. We're gonna force them over here on this side. Now, sometimes, see, I might have gotten there a little too late. Oh no, it did work out. Why am I thinking it didn't work out? I think there's one wave that it didn't work out because I think I got there too late or too early. So you want to be patient as well. When you get that last enemy, you will notice that the last enemy, what I do is I go around, get stim packs. And a lot of what I do in the last wave is go around, get stim packs, and then I position myself in a place that where I kill the enemy is really close to where I want to start the wave. So like that, I'm not late, you know, to being in my position. So that's very important as well. You gotta have patience with yourself. This situation, you notice that you don't want to really fight there. You know, I fight there a little bit just to, you know, just to stop the enemy, the Praetorian. So like that, this one has more time to kind of come through. Because wave 2, guys, in wave 2 you get double Praetorians. And what you want to do is you definitely want to make sure that you line them up. So you see here, I'm kind of, there you go. I forced them to kind of stay there, and then I lined them up. So now I know that they're all in the same path, same trajectory, and now everything else is like the Scions or whatever troopers are there. They're kind of falling right behind them and then kind of getting clustered up. And anything that gets killed, you know, they'll spawn either in front of me, behind me, or whatever. But you know, I can take care of that. But I do not want the scions split up. You always want the scions together. And that goes also for wave, guys. Wave 8 is really difficult. You should see how I do that. It took me a little bit to kind of force the enemies to line up, because you have primes and they're really slow, and then you have the double Praetorians. So wave 8 is really tough, really tough. So you have to pace yourself. You can't just run through. You have to stop. Look how I'm stopping here. I'm taking my time a little bit. I'm not rushing to the next point of interest. I'm taking some time here. And then this is little corner here, by the way. If you can't be in that right corner where the Praetorian is at, then you go to this one and you wait a little bit. And what you want to do is you want to take down at least 1 bar of armor. Look at what I'm doing. See? 1 bar of armor. I'm happy. And I'm leaving. That's pretty much my tactic if I can't do anything. I just, you know, I want to make sure I take out 1 bar of armor. And I take it down little by little. Be patient. Be very patient. That's what a Platinum Solo is about. You have to be patient. You definitely have to pay attention to your surroundings. Doing some fire explosions. Now he's dead. Now that he's dead, look, these guys are lined up again. That's great. I'm going to the next corner. Now you also have to be careful. That's why I knew he was dead. I'm looking out here. See, there he goes. I know that they spawn. If I kill them, they're gonna spawn somewhere here, somewhere close. In this situation, since I know the other enemies are lined up, they're probably gonna come up behind me in a moment. I'm making a path for myself, because you never want to fight at DLZ, guys. You do not want to fight at DLZ. I'm kind of making an opening for myself so I could go back here. This is the safest spot. Well, not really the safest, but this is the most tactical spot in the entire game, right here. Alright, see, going through them. You see how that guy only had 1 bar? I had been killing him little by little, but as I went through my rounds, being patient, then I was able to take him down. Now you see him in this corner. I know that there's nobody on my right. That's why I didn't look this time, because I had already funneled the enemies. But you definitely always want to check regardless. You don't want to be too overconfident either, because then that'll really hurt you. And here we go, guys. And I do this throughout the entire match, and you got to be careful with the hazard, of course. The hazard is just a pain. It really is. And you don't want to use your ops pack just in a little slight situation like that. You want to use it if you know there's an enemy around. Oh, here goes a wall hack again. You see? You can do stuff like that. You want to use the ops pack in a situation like that. I mean your stim pack, sorry, not your ops pack. By the way, there are times that you can run right through the not right through, but right next to the Praetorian if you see them floating and you're going right at the edge of their foot. But you have to be very careful. It doesn't always work. So I take some risks here, but that's because I kind of knew, you know, I kind of felt it. I knew that he wasn't going to be able to get me because he was floating and I was going right through. So I was fine. And you notice here in this situation, I didn't know what was on my right, so I backed up. I didn't go in that little corner since I wasn't able to look, and now I'm actually going forward. But before, I actually stepped back to take some cover, just in case there was a scion spawned over there or whatever. And here we go, guys. I got the 2 scions lined up. I'm sorry that I'm talking a little fast. You know, I want to make sure I give you guys as much. I will be talking a lot less throughout the game. I just want to make sure I give you as many of the pointers in the beginning in case you do not want to watch the whole thing. Maybe you want to go through some of the waves and get some fun with that, but at least in the beginning you'll be able to get a lot of the pointers. And you know, this is the tactic that I've chosen for this already. I may just do a 3rd one without a crutch character. I don't even know anymore. It's tough. It's definitely tough. It's all dependent on the objectives. But I did want to do another guide on how to do it without armored compartments like that. You know, people are like, oh well, that's great. You know, no armored compartments. It's harder. You know, the other thing is that this is a crutch character, but even with this crutch character, guys, you can't get destroyed. This is an advanced guide. You know, you have to have the skill for it. You have to have been practicing. You know, this is not an easy mode. This is a cheese mode for, you know, if you've already been able to master Platinum and you're looking for the hardest challenge. Now, I would say the next hardest challenge would be to do this map versus the Geth. Now, I have attempted it. I gotta tell you guys, I was only able to get to wave 4. And I figured out a really nice strategy. I'm thinking of trying it again, but it's just really difficult to do Geth in this map without the Crow Guard. And I really do not want to use the Crow Guard. I don't want to do another like cheese mode guide. I want to do a guide where I'm using a character that takes advantage of the Geth at some point. Kind of like the gold solo that I did with the Human Engineer a long time ago, the Hypno Drone gold solo. That was a lot of fun. A lot of you guys enjoyed that a lot, and that's actually one of the gold solos that has some of the most hits. Now guys, when you have individual devices, you're going to want to cloak, and then you're going to want to use your stim pack right away so you can take reduced damage. Again, 9 seconds, it just finished for me. But you see that, I'm able to take a hit, I was able to jump off. It did help me out a little bit. That's why you want to use your stim pack for every device. You see the devices here? Notice I didn't go for it right away because I know they were coming. So on devices, you want to draw the enemy as far away as possible from the device so that you could do the device. So this situation, I'm drawing them all the way back. I want to make sure that I can do the device. I have enough time. Believe it or not, what the hardest thing is about the device is it's when you have possessed abominations or abominations in general, because they will pick you up off the device and get you in their animation, and that's really bad. And so are the brutes. The brutes will actually stomp you out, and that is just not good. So as you can see, I'm going back to the device. I'm cloaking, using my stim pack. You got to be careful with this section too, because they can shoot you right through that hole. And you can shoot as well, by the way. I do. Here goes a possessed abomination. Now, when you see a possessed abomination with 1 bar, you want to destroy it, because what will happen is if you're on a device and then you use a stim pack and you're protected, but then yeah, this is when I died, guys. This is such bull crap. But anyways, it happened. It is what it is. So now anything can happen when you're doing objectives, because objectives are anything goes. All the enemies all over the place. So going back to what I was saying, you definitely want to make sure that, see, you use your stim pack, you get on the device, you lead them away, and when you see possessed abominations that have 1 bar, you want to kill them, because if they are going next to you, and then let's say the ball of doom comes right around you, then it will blow up on you and destroy you, and that's you don't want to waste a gel. See, the next device is right there, DLZ. I'm not going for it right away. I want to make sure I draw them all the way back. I don't like it when they're possessed. I try to get rid of them because anything can happen with possessed abominations. So I just want to. This is kind of why I decided to narrate, and you can tell the difference. Like, I'm not as stressed narrating it. I wanted to narrate so I could give you the little tips and pointers that I couldn't give you in the other guide, even though the other guide is really great and excellent. But this one I can go through each step by step. Here we go. I was able to draw them away. I'm going to take advantage, use my stim pack to get some protection. You want to do it right here in this little corner. Oh, here I made a mistake. I actually used my overload instead of my stim pack, so that was a mistake, guys. You definitely would use your stim pack, but I was able to make it in time. And you see how the abominations are so fast. You got to be very careful. They do have a big radius, and you want to get away. If you see them, just get away. Make sure you get back into a good position and start funneling the enemies again. Don't just start killing them immediately just because they're around you. Like, weaken them a little bit, but go and take a better position. Funnel the enemies. Take the same strategy. Don't lose your focus. You have to stay focused and make sure that you're funneling the enemies again. Notice how, again, I'm taking a better position, taking some cover. You also have to be careful of the swarmers. They're just they're the worst thing in this game. They will destroy you without you realizing it. Do you notice I'm pacing myself, taking my time, even though this is the objective? I'm still taking my points of interest. Still making sure that I'm funding the enemies. I know that I have all my stim packs, so I don't have to run around and get more. So that's what you do. You want to make sure that the last enemy, if you know who the last enemy is, you just go around, get your stim packs, and just have a little patience, and then kill the enemy again at an area that's close to the ramp where you want to start off the next wave, unless it's an objective wave. Another good thing, guys, is to have good headphones. You want to have I have turtle beaches, so a good turtle beach is good because you can hear the enemy. So here I was able to hear the brute where he's at. I was looking around for him, but I could hear him that he was like close to this area. So I was able to get back in. Now the next wave is not an objective wave, so I'm going to start here again. Now when the ball is here in this situation, it's a little tough. I'm taking a hit a little bit. And wave 4 is the only wave that is, besides wave 8, that is so hard for me because you have double banshees. And I explained this before on the previous guide. When you have double banshees, it's tough because then they're pushing you into, guess what, the marauders and the collector captains. And guess what, they have a ton of DPS. Their guns will destroy you. So this one, you definitely have to be on the move. This one is one of those that you are going to be on the move. You're going to be constantly moving. As you notice, even as I'm fighting the Praetorian, the Scions, what I'm doing is I'm leaving the Banshees alone. But I am running, and I'm definitely going to my points of interest. And if you see, when I get in this situation, I actually wait for the Banshees so that I could funnel them in, and then I know they're here, they're not on top. I wait a little bit and then I run out because I know they're at the LZ, so I know they're not here, so I can take advantage and kill a few enemies little by little. So the one thing that you do want to do in wave 4 is you want to know where the Banshees are at, and you want to leave them in certain areas so that you can fight the rest of the enemies. You want to focus more on the Scions, but if you have, you know, the Marauders and the Collector Captains, which there are a lot of, you have no choice but to kill them, but they just don't give you a lot of points. The whole goal of this wave is to destroy the Scions. Look at this. Again, like I said before, look at 1 bar. Scion is pretty much dead. So you want to kill the Scions the most. But again, kill anything that comes in front of you except for the Banshee. You see how they're pushing you? They're pushing you. If you stay focused on them, the Collector Captain and the Marauders will actually, they'll finally get to you and they'll destroy you. So you can see, guys, you could do a little bit of damage on an enemy. And if you can't finish them off, you have to leave. Don't get impatient. I see that the Scion is coming up. I don't want him to block my path. I want to take a little bit of armor from him, and then I know that I'm going to the next enemy. That was a little weird. He wasn't supposed to stagger me like that, but I was a little frustrated too. Do a nice little hop. Look. 1 bar. So you see, guys, you have to be patient as you go around. This might take you a little longer, but look, I'm surviving. The only times, guys, the times that I have died here have always been on the objective waves. And you notice, the times that I have died have been the objective waves. That's because the objective waves are tricky. And the objective waves, anything goes. So you can see, guys, I'm going around. By the way, see, I'm using a wall hack. I'm taking cover behind that glass, so if he decides to shoot, I'm still protected. For some reason, they don't have armor-piercing rounds, but I do. I have the armor-piercing barrel, damage barrel. Here we go. See, now I'm working on the Marauder. I left the side alone a little bit. He's got 1 bar. I could fish him up on my next wave. And I want to make sure that I'm protected. I want to make sure that the Banshees are not grabbing my behind. Take a little easy here. Wave 4, guys, is really tough. Wave 4 is really tough. It's one of the hardest waves besides wave 8 and wave 10. There we go. Take advantage of the wall hacks. So you have that damage barrel on. Look at that, beautiful. Done. Do the same thing with the Marauder. You can shoot right through that glass. Oh, he was still alive. I wanted to just overload because I have it ready, but he died anyways. Look at that, that's great. Oh, now it's the Scion. So you see, guys, the ball of death would actually go around and kill the enemies for you. So see how I had left him with 1 bar, but the map, you know, the ball of doom actually helped me out, as it usually does, and it killed the Scion for me because it only had 1 bar. So don't be too, don't be too gung-ho to just get rid of the enemy. It's like, oh man, I have to destroy him now, or none, Be patient.
I'm hit.
Okay, a little trick about the Banshees. You guys see me running right through them. The moment that you hear that they're about to jump, that's when you want to run right through them. You hear that they're about to jump. They're literally, you can tell when they're about to jump. The moment they're about to jump, you can run right through them because they're going to jump to another position which they have already kind of predetermined for themselves. Since they have predetermined that position, you know they're not going to be able to jump in front of you. So that's why you guys see me running right through Banshees and wondering, well, how does he do that? Well, the moment I see that they're about to do their next jump, and you could time it, well, then I go right through them because I know that they have already predetermined where they're going to go. But the game has already said, oh, they're going to jump into this portion, to this section, so I know that that's not where I'm going to be, so I run forward while they're going behind me. Alright, so as you see in Wave 4, you get 2 Scions, you get 2 Banshees, you have 2 Collector Captains, 2 Marauders. Look at that 1 bar on the Scion. Look how beautiful that is. Gotta love it, guys. For those of you guys who would like to use the Harrier, you can, but you see, this is the whole thing. I'm not worried about the ammo boxes, although I am going to them constantly because I do have to get my stim packs. So, if you want to use the Harrier, you're fine because you're going to have to constantly go to the ammo boxes anyways for your stim packs. See how I went backwards because I didn't know what else could be on the right. You see that? You see the enemy shooting from the right, so that was good that I went here in the back. And I was able to at least do some damage and go to my next point of interest. You want to be patient when you go to each point. Patient here as well when you're going up, because usually the Marauders and the Collector Captains camp right at that desk.
I'm hit! Hold real!
This wave, you have to be patient, guys, because this is the hardest one. This will definitely be the hardest wave for most of you guys. You guys might not realize, oh well, wave 8 will be really hard. This is it, guys. This is the wave that will probably cost you 1 meta gel because of all this pushing that the Banshees are doing, and then all the DPS from the Collector Captains and Marauders. You saw how I ran through that Banshee, guys. I already knew. I did my overload, dropped the Marauders, and look how cool that was. That was a really cool moment. I wanted to point that out because I was just like, man, let me time this right. Push through the Banshee, drop the Marauders with my overload, and was able to take them out. At one point when you finally start realizing that, you know, the Banshees are the only ones left, then you can start going after them. And again, be patient as well. You noticed I was happy with just getting 1 bar of armor. I stim pack because I know that both of them are so cheap and their warp balls can go through the entire map to try to find you. definitely want to make sure you pay attention to your stim packs. Oh, and also with the Turian Ghost, he has his dodge, and you think his dodge is excellent. It is good, but it can get you in a lot of trouble, so make sure that you don't use it a lot. You use it only in situations, very specific situations, where you're backed up and you need to get away. So you'll notice that I don't use it a lot, but I do use it very intelligently, because I know that I need it. Guys, check this out. Look at this. The ball of death. A ball of death totally destroyed her. This is so awesome. That was such a great little moment there. It's like sweet payback to the Banshees. Now, wave 5 is easier, guys. You start off here, same strategy. I think this is the one that might have not worked. Let me see. I think it still worked. So as you can tell, guys, wave 5 is a lot easier. You do get Collector Captain, but when they get possessed. But mostly you get the regular troopers. You do get possessed abominations. You have only one Praetorian, which is absolutely amazing. It's great. You could actually, you can handle one Praetorian because you don't have to worry about another one kind of like flanking you. I know there was a possessed abomination. He was almost dead, so I left. So you never know. Here goes my beautiful overload of using the wall hack. Damage barrel. There goes that possessed. You notice I did not stay there to finish him off. I left to take better position. See? You have to be careful, guys. Sometimes if you're not patient with yourself, you will get destroyed. And again, look at my meta gel count. The only times, guys, that I'm really dying, and if I remember this correctly, the only times that I've died were in the objective waves, which makes sense. So you want to make sure that you protect yourself as much as you can. You have patience. This is still a hard solo. Still a hard solo, so you don't think, oh, my stim packs will save me, they'll protect me, oh, stim packs, all the things. As you saw before, I got killed by a brute, I got cornered, you get cornered, you're done. This wave, though, you do want to pace yourself, not like wave 4. Wave 4, you're constantly moving around. This one, you want to go back to pacing yourself. See how I'm still, funneling them in. I didn't go right to my next corner. Make sure, pacing myself a little bit. Now I see the Praetorian. Great. See how I'm careful when I use my dodge, because then I have to use it correctly. I know that there are no enemies on my right. I make sure I went there, and that was it. Don't just zoom and dodge everywhere, because you will actually dodge into the face of a Banshee or Praetorian, or into a exploding possessed abomination. I would say this wave is a little easier than wave 4, of course. But the thing about this, my most favorite wave, and you guys know this already by watching my previous tutorial, is wave 9. It is so much fun because I have the Scorpion on all this time, and the only time I bring it out is then. It's just so much fun watching all the Phantoms and all the Mooks, all those small, Mooks are small enemies. They just get staggered and blown up to pieces, and then you do fire explosions. It's it's so much fun. That is Wave 9 is just a lot of fun for me because you only have one Banshee, and then you're using your Scorpion. Wave 5 is decent. You still have to take the same strategy, same tactic, and you're fine. Don't fight too long in this spot, by the way. Be very careful because the enemies will come into your right. See, you gotta always look to your right. Here, I stood here because I knew there were a lot less. You see how that captain came over. This is the best spot here, and the other corner at the bottom of the basement are the best spots in the map because you can funnel enemies. Especially you have them already going towards the direction that you want them, and you see how I've already got them in a pattern, so they're already in a pattern. You notice here they're funneled from that right corner, funnel from the left. Once you have them in the pattern already, you're good. Look at this, doing nothing but cleanup. Again, I'm in a safe zone right now. I don't need to leave here just yet. There we go. Best enemy. Burn him up a little bit, but I'm gonna let the incendiary kill him off. Or at least I only had incendiary rounds too, so didn't really do much. But as you notice, he got back up. But still, I'm close to where I want to start the wave. Although the next wave is an objective wave, so you really don't necessarily want to be here. You want to be at the center, and that's I remembered, and I went here in the center. This is where you want to be. Here we go. We have an upload. Now the upload, guys, this is where I almost totally wiped. Now with the upload, you gotta be careful because you want to kill any engineer you see. The reason I say that, guys, is because they drop turrets all the time. It doesn't matter where they are. Kill them. Kill the engineers. They will drop a turret at an instant. Once you see that the enemy has taken over your position, you want to leave. Draw them away towards the opposite side of the map, where the opposite side of where the upload is at. Hacks are a little tough. You see this? Look right away. Taking him down. I don't care. He's the one enemy that, besides the possessed, abominations, that you constantly want to destroy. Now that the enemies are on top, I know I can go back to my hack, and we're good. Again. You see any, look, take him down immediately. Use your stim packs right before you're going to run through a big spawn like this. Stim pack again, because there was a turret there. Another turret. You see how you're setting up a turret? Guys, kill them every time you see them. This is where I messed up, guys. See, objective wave. I thought I was able to kill him, so messed up. Not a good thing, guys. You guys can do better than that. You guys are better than me. Stim pack. You see how he's setting up another turret. Stim pack, and I'm out. I'm going back. I don't have any stim packs. You got to pay attention to that, guys. When you run out of stim packs, but you're back at the hack, remember, pay attention to that and think, okay, ops pack. No more stim pack, ops pack. You have to think that way. It's like that. You don't make a mistake of trying to press for a stim pack and you don't have it. Here I actually went for another stim pack. Decided to use it. Drawing the enemies away. See how the upload is almost done. By the way, the turrets do destroy themselves after 30 seconds. If you're not there, they will destroy themselves. They don't stay there permanently. So that's why you don't want to just rush. You don't want to just rush when you know that there are turrets set up there. You want to wait a little bit, and they'll destroy themselves. So by the time you get there, I've had moments where I'm rushing to another corner, and since I waited enough, the turrets have literally exploded in front of me. Engineer, drop them. Alright, we got the hack done, but this is, guys, this is where it got a little hairy for me. I kind of messed up. I stood here a little too long. This guy got me in the animation. You never want to stay still with these guys. Look at that. 4 gels, and right here, I went through 2 gels. Wanted to use my stim pack immediately to stay alive. Took some cover. He got me in an animation again. This is what I hate about the abominations. But I'm dead. 2 gels. This situation had no choice but to use a nuke, stim pack, missile. Done. I did not want to use any more. Once you got a clear path, do not use any more missiles. And it turned out that that was the last enemy, which is great. Now remember, the next wave is not an objective wave, so you want to kind of leave the Atlas alone, go get your stim packs like I'm doing here. Be smart, be a smart soldier. I wanted to get the 4th stim pack, so I actually I used the Turian dodge forward, and I got it, dodge back. It was a lot of fun. And now that I'm ready, you want to be careful of the Atlases, guys. They are so powerful in Platinum right now. The Atlases are really a tough boss enemy now. They're not as powerful as the Primes in the sense that the Primes have a lot of guns shooting at you, but they are so powerful. They have so much armor, so many shields, and they have 4 shots and a missile that does damage over time. So they're very, very powerful. Wave 7 is the Geth wave. You get a lot of Geth bombers, you do get possessed abominations, and you do get Collector Trooper and 1 Prime. So what you want to do is you want to take out as many of the Geth bombers, and this is great. You got overload with this character. You can strip their shields and take them out. You want to make sure you know where the Geth Prime is at all times. You want to leave him for last. He's very slow, so if you see him there, he's going to take his time, and you can go right ahead and continue working the Geth bombers. Now, the tough part about this is that you really got to pay attention to your stim packs, because this wave, the Geth bombers will spawn in many areas. There are times that you're going to your other point of interest, like the other waves, and they've already spawned there. So they're a little tricky when it comes to the spawns. So you have to constantly be careful that you might, once you get to your next point of interest, you might have to use a stim pack immediately. Just pay attention to that. You have to work on your aim as well. You want to take your time, because you don't want to run right into the Prime. You want to give the Prime enough time to go towards the path that you've laid out for him by running corner to corner. If you take your time, he will go to that previous corner that you were on, and then you wait over here, then he's gonna go to this corner. Again, creating a pattern. Save zone. Guys, I keep on making a mistake here. Here you don't want to overheat it. And I was getting a little desperate here, and it kept on overheating. But you do not want to do that. Since I knew that the Prime was close, I went backwards this time. You would change your path, but again, you still have the points of interest. Now notice that I don't just stay here. If I go backwards, I don't just stay in that bottom spot. I go towards the LZ to kind of draw them back into the same pattern that I've been going to, and it's a counterclockwise pattern. Again, that was a mistake. Not paying attention. Make sure you pay attention to your particle rifle.
I'm hit!
If you had warp rounds 4, these enemies would go down much faster, or incendiary rounds 4.
Wounded! Running low!
Again, at the end of the wave, remember, make sure you have all your stim packs, and fight the enemy at a location that will allow you to be where you want to control the spawn for the next wave. So this is a good area. By the way, if you had incendiary rounds 4, guys, if you notice, the Geth Primes, once you get their shields down, with the particle rifle and incendiary rounds, their armor just dies. So, I mean, it's just amazing. And you do want to focus on the head. You do get a headshot bonus when you shoot at the primes. So here we go again. Forcing the spawn. Wave 8, guys. This is the toughest wave here besides wave 10. And obviously, as I told you guys before, wave 4. Now, I was thinking of shooting a missile, but I said, you know what? Let me not. Let me take it little by little. You gotta be careful with the pyros, guys. If you kill them, they will spawn in the next point of interest that you go to, so you have to be careful because they will drop you immediately. So you have to constantly look out for them. And you notice that I'm not rushing. I could have just gone upstairs, but I want to make sure that I'm getting, you know, the beginning of the wave. You want to get the enemies in a pattern. There are a lot of enemies on wave 8, a lot. So I want to make sure that I get them in a pattern. You get 2 primes, 2 Praetorians, you have 3 pyros, and I believe a few collector troopers or collector captains. So it's a really, really tough wave. You can see here I took a few bars off the Praetorian. I'm happy. Now, next point of interest, you have to be careful because the pyros that you killed might be there. Pyros are a little tricky when they spawn, so you have to be very careful. Notice that I'm working the primes. The primes are worth a lot. And I make sure that I try to take off at least 1 bar or a few bars off of them. It's a tough situation right now. I'm not ready for that, so I have to go. Remember, do not fight at the LZ unless it's the end of the wave. You see the pyro? There you go. This is what I'm talking about. They will spawn at the areas that you know of interest. Don't forget to use hard cover when you do need it in a situation like this. It's very important. Disable the enemy with overload.
I'm hit! Shield's gone!
You see that, the pyro? There you go. Gotta be very careful. Ops stim pack. And you notice that the primes are really slow, so again, you see he's not in the pattern. So now I want to set him up back on the pattern. Here goes some armor, which is great. Taking down some armor. Zig and zag. Next point of interest, look out for pyros. Wait here a little bit. Rinse and repeat. The reason I wait here a little bit, not too much, you do not want to be in this open spot. Again, you do not want to fight at the LZ. Wait there a little bit just to make sure that they're constantly in the path. I want them in the path. The pattern that I created. That's why I don't rush it too much. I want to make sure they're lined up. Then I go to my next point of interest. When you see the Praetorian there stuck, just leave it alone. Meaning, don't try to fight it head on. Just take, like I'm doing here. Go take another corner and work it. Take down a few bars of armor. Again, you just want at least a few bars of armor, 1 or 2 bars, and you're good. If you know you can take them down, that's fine. And by the way, the same thing that I said for the pyros also goes for the Praetorians. They will spawn at another spot, especially at the other point, next point of interest. So now, if we're going up the ramp, they might be there. So you have to look out first. You see, there you go, just as I said, and you see that the Praetorian already crossed that ledge. I knew that I could go right ahead and go right by it and not get picked up. And here we go, guys. Believe me, this is not an easy wave. You want to get rid of those drones. I had to use a lot of stim packs there to stay alive because, again, no fitness, so I do have a cyclonic mod, so I do have good shields, but I will get destroyed, especially with that many enemies. The other thing is, guys, you need to figure out the timing of the Geth primes. You know that they shoot 3 shots. So, and you also know that their combat drone stuns you. So you have to time the shots that they are. If you get hit by a combat drone, you want to use a stim pack, but you also got to time the shots. See, 1, 2, and 3. They stop. Give you a moment. You want to replenish your shields. The situation, I'm not in a good spot. I'm going to stim pack it, get right through, take a better position. And the Geth Prime is down. Again, patience. There goes another one. Ops pack. You notice that, guys. You have to pay attention. And then I use a stim pack, so I use the strength of both. The Ops pack actually gives you a brief 1 or 2 seconds of immunity. I think it might be a little bit more, but I never assume more than that. So I use an Ops pack at the moment just to have immunity, and then I use a stim pack to get another bonus. Ops pack. And notice that I'm only using here on wave 8 because wave 8 is tough. You want to try to keep on getting these enemies in a pattern, especially the primes. They're so slow. So as you can see, I'm always making sure I get them in a pattern. Do not allow the enemies to change your focus. I have to say that because, as you notice, have had situations here where I just left. I left my spot to take a better position because I didn't want the enemy to destroy my pattern.
Shield down!
The situation, I didn't want to use an Osprey because I knew that I could get my shields back up. Then I used a stim pack. I knew I had enough time to wait for my shields to replenish and then get back in a better position.
Shield down!
This is, I believe, the first time that I actually use a grenade, ammo capacity, so that I could actually get my ammo back to get the stim packs. You want to hold them out to as long as you can. That's why I'm going ammo box to ammo box. But in this situation, it was a little risky. I used my ammo pack, and I was able to get stim packs and use them immediately. So you want to play smart. Again, playing intelligently. Playing smart, not hard. Although, again, this is hard. But still, playing smarter, guys. I gotta be honest with you, in this wave, this is the one wave that actually makes my hands shake. This and wave 4. Wave 10 also gets me there, but it's more out of excitement because I want to finish. But my hands actually start shaking at these waves because it's so intense. And this is the end of Wave 8. Again, guys, get your stim packs. Take your time. Position yourself appropriately so that the next wave you're ready to force spawns. And the next wave is my fun wave, guys. The next wave, actually, even if you don't start at that spot, anywhere you start, the next wave is actually a little easier. And I'm glad that I'm actually glad that the BioWare developers created Wave 9 this way, because this is a very fun wave. It's kind of like a little breather after the hard Wave 8. And even though it's still tough, don't get me wrong, you have Phantoms and a Banshee, but you know that one Banshee you could kite. The Phantoms, they can definitely destroy you, but look how much fun this is with the Scorpion. And you put incendiary rounds, you can do fire explosions, and the enemy it's just a lot of fun, guys. And I enjoy the Scorpion here. This is just the gun that for this wave. It's just created for this. Look how much fun this is. This is definitely the most fun wave for me when it comes to the collectors on Platinum. Gonna want to go through each point of interest, leave the Banshee alone. Just be very careful and cognizant of where she's at. You want to pay attention to the Phantoms. You go point to point, just look at the corners because they like to hide in corners, they like to take cover. See, I'm looking at all the little corners because I know they like to hide. And this wave, actually have fun. You want to pace yourself, take it easy, but have fun, guys. Notice that I'm still taking the same points of interest. Nothing has changed in that aspect.
Check fire!
And in this situation, I'm actually literally going around looking for Phantoms because they are worth a lot and I want to destroy them above all the other enemies.
Watch it! Watch it!
Oh yeah, little did I know that that abomination was about to blow up. That was the one gel that I did use outside of the objective waves. Which was unfortunate because I would have had 2 gels. Still guys, don't make that mistake. Make sure you stim pack before you go through one of those warp balls. Well, one of those, the ball of death. In that situation where there are enemies around and they might actually get destroyed. If it's just a ball of death by itself, you can actually run right through it. Depending if there are no enemies around, it should be fine. And just replenish your shields.
More shields! Stop it! Careful!
The situation, remember, the next wave is an objective wave. So you want to make sure that you're on the top of the map, not at DLZ. Because a lot of times the objective will be at DLZ. You do not want the enemies to spawn there. You don't want to be there. And if the objective is object recovery, the device will probably most likely not be at DLZ. So you have to pick it up at the basement or pick it up at the top. So you want to be at the top so you can pick up the object right away and you'll know where the enemy has spawned, so you can actually go and get the first object and do it really quickly. If it's an escort, again the same thing, the enemy will be opposite of it. So if you're up here, you can go to the escort, and most likely the escort will either be at the basement or by the LZ, or even in the top area close to the LZ by the balcony. So that's usually where the escorts show up in this map. Although sometimes the escort goes to the Nook. There's different points that it goes to, but my experience on these solos has been that that's where they will go. So you want to be at this top area. All right, here we go. We're gonna want to be here. We had an escort, and now because I was here, look how close I was to it. If I would have been in a DLZ, I would have been too far. I know that the enemy spawned all the way across. Now, this one is going to be a tough escort, but we are actually going to cheese it. Check this out, guys. I am going to cheese the crap. Now, I don't recommend this. I recommend leaving the escort, drawing the enemies away. But in this situation, I decided to cheese it and use the power of the stim packs. I'm just going through the stim packs. Stim packing it up. I don't recommend this because you could get insta-killed. I did leave for a moment, so you gotta be careful. All that, look at all that stagger. Stim pack. So I did draw them away for a little bit. Great thing is that it is an escort to have all these nukes. This is why you want to have all your missiles for Wave 10. Wave 10 is close to the same as Wave 8 in sense of difficulty, so you want to be very careful. Again, wait, make sure it's past this, then you can cut across. Ops pack. I use my grenade. I use my ammo pack to get stim packs. I'm gonna take some cover in a moment. Stim pack. Cover. Stim pack. Stim pack. And stim pack, and I use another ammo pack. And now that we see the credits, we can actually start cleaning up. Now, you do not want to use all your missiles. You just want to use enough to clean out the major boss spawns. So I have a few. I just used one on one Praetorian because I know that there's a prime. So I want to be careful. What I wanted to do is get the prime lined up and just use one missile, but he just wasn't coming. He was taking his sweet time as he usually does, which is a good thing on his part, but not always good when you're trying to do a solo. I just made that final decision and said, okay, well, let me just use it. And I decided to keep the rest of my nukes for the extraction, because as you see, I do actually use one at extraction, just to clear the path, because I am just pretty much biding my time on wave 11. Now you just want to take out the enemies with your gun. You want to take the same strategies as before. Be patient.
I'm hit! Shields down!
For extraction, what I like to do is I like to stay by the, not the dark room, but it's that little corner, actually where the prime is at right now. I'm going around getting stim packs to get ready for the extraction wave. And I have this nuke on my back again because, we had an objective, so I'm going to go and take it off. I do not like it. There you go. So now we're going to take care of this prime. And for the next wave, which you're actually going to want to, since this is the first time you get Dragoons, and which doesn't make any sense to me, by the way, Wave 11. Wave 11 is tough because it's Dragoons. It's the only time they show off for collectors. So Dragoons are really tough, so what you want to do is you just whip out your Scorpion and just use those against them and forget about the boss enemies. Do your best to funnel them as you were doing before, but just focus on the Dragoons. And this is where I like to be at extraction. I like to be here, just to see where they are all at, where they spawn. And again, it's up to you where you want to be at extraction, because pretty much all you're doing is trying to stay alive. And you see the Dragoons, look how fast they are. They're the real boss enemy here at extraction. Again, I'm just trying to kite, and I'm going to use my Scorpion just to stagger them.
Wounded!
Again, you just want to stay alive, guys. You really don't want to destroy any or nuke any of the boss enemies, because what happens is that if you destroy them and you run to another corner, they probably spawn at the corner that you're running to. And you really don't want to camp extraction. You want to go from corner to corner. You want to look at the time. Make sure that you're in the LZ at least 25 seconds in. That you have 25 seconds in the LZ, because you never know what could happen, what could go wrong. Notice I bided my time. I knew I have enough nukes. So here I'm covering myself with the Scorpion. Now I know it's, 25 seconds are coming up. Clean up the two primes. Now I'm going into the LZ. And I have two nukes. I'm ready to go if I need it. The time goes really fast, and now it is Scorpion time to just stagger, because again, guys, the Dragoons are the fastest thing. The primes are probably on the other side of the map, just slowly trying to get here. And that is how, guys, that you can defeat Platinum Solo versus Collectors on Glacier Hazard in cheese mode. So yes, this is the cheesy mode guide, but there are no armor compartments. It is still difficult to do, as you can see, but hopefully this guide has shown you guys how to, number one, force spawns, control the spawns, control the next wave, how to handle each objective, and hopefully this will help you guys do pretty much one of the most difficult solos in this entire game. Hopefully Get Platinum Solo will be next, and we'll go through that at some point when I get to it. Alright guys, Invader 1 out, and I hope you enjoyed this guide. Please comment, rate, and subscribe, and as always, you guys are awesome. Thank you for being such great fans and great subscribers. I'll talk to you guys on the next video.